So I wanted to provide to my listeners a brief bonus episode that's essentially a health update on myself because within the last 24 to 36 hours, it's been pretty daunting for me. I know I provided a health update just recently, but believe it or not, things have actually become much, much worse. The edema in my body has continued. It's not really lessened. It's a constant struggle, a very painful one at that. Still have difficulty breathing, especially as that edema fluid goes into my lungs. And it just really has just gotten quite worse, honestly. All the symptoms, frankly, since my last update. Now, what I want to share is that unfortunately, last night, so this is hot off the press, this is real news here. Just last night, I actually collapsed twice. The first time, I didn't lose consciousness, so I managed to successfully sort of block my fall by using the shower curtain, because I was in the bathroom at the time actually, and so I used the shower curtain to kind of hang on to and lean against the base of the shower, a little wall that sticks up. So I sort of used two things. I grabbed the shower curtain and sort of cuddled the physical material to hold myself up as best as I could, so when I went down it was a little bit more gentle, and that worked pretty well. Now, the second collapse, however, was not quite so lucky. The second collapse also happened in the bathroom. I don't get it. I got to stay away from bathrooms. I don't know what my issue is. So my second collapse was I finished what I was doing and was just washing my hands, when this time I did lose consciousness entirely, and I fell backwards and just landed smack on the hardwood, very hard, similar to what I did in the kitchen not long ago. I think this time was harder though. I don't know. It could be my imagination. I definitely hit my head. It sort of ricocheted on the floor, like bam, 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 as the impact was so strong. Came out of that with the injured head, injured back, and butt, obviously, and I've also bruised, I believe, a couple of ribs. I feel pain on my right side in the ribs. That definitely feels like bruised ribs. I've had them before. I'd say it matches that symptom exactly. So I think I also managed to bruise some ribs while I was at it. So that was brilliant. Now, that being said, one of the rules in hospice is if you collapse, you have to notify your hospice team immediately. So I did that. And what they do is they send somebody out right away, whether it's day or night, 24 hours a day, they do this to basically take your vitals and make sure you're okay and all that stuff. And I've been told it's actually a Medicare requirement, so that's why they do it. If they don't do it, they get shut down, so that's why they're so serious about it. But be that as it may, I reported it, and it would take probably a couple hours at this point. It's maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm very tired. So I get back in the bed and lay down and go back to sleep thinking, well, when they knock, I'll wake up and come let them in. That never happened. When I sort of came to, I noticed that there was somebody else in my bedroom. I didn't know her. I didn't know this person, and freaked me out quite a bit, but I didn't hear them come in or anything. It was my nurse, but apparently what she had done already is take all my vitals. She said she had taken my pulse ox. She had taking my temperature, and even listened to my heart and lungs while I was completely out, while I was quote unquote sleeping. I don't think at this point I was sleeping to be able to do that. I think I was surely completely out of it. So that's a little scary, just that in and of itself, that I didn't wake up to that, and just waking up to someone in your home that you don't recognize is pretty scary. On top of the fact that my symptoms are worsening, the collapsing is happening more often. And that, of course, is very scary, showing that overall my physical symptoms are getting worse, meaning that, yes, my heart is failing and weakening more so and more quickly in recent days. And so that's a disappointment. So yeah, it's an unfortunate update, unfortunately. That was redundant. It's the Department of Redundancy Department, yes. Anyway, but yeah, it's pretty rough and it's pretty scary, needless to say. And again, this happened just last night. I did then finally go to sleep when the nurse left. I did wake up the next day, so my guess is no concussion, which is pretty darn good, especially as hard as I hit my head. At least, I don't know, I hit the back of my head. I don't know enough about concussions. Can you get a concussion from hitting the back of your head? My guess is yes, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I don't know. So, if any of you know how to contact me and can tell me whether or not that's a thing that happens to where you get a concussion from hitting the back of your head, I'd love to know. Anyway, so yeah, that's my brief health update. I'm sorry this is not a jovial podcast, so to speak. It's not telling some funny stories, but I honestly wanted to give an update to, my friends and family, and those in the world who just want to listen because they want to know what it's like to have severe heart failure and to slowly die from it. It's not pleasant. So that is, I think, my entire update with respect to my health. It's unfortunate that it's getting worse, but, it is what it is, and there's nothing I can really do about it. I'm hoping that the collapsing does not continue to happen so frequently, because that is definitely scary and definitely something I don't think anyone would want. It's really terrifying when that happens. So anyway, I want to thank you all for listening and inform you to not forget to follow and turn on notifications in whichever application you are using. I promise the next podcast will not be so sad or negative. I promise it'll be a better podcast. And not just me whining and giving a negative update on my health. So definitely turn on, the following and the notifications, so you get those episodes that are definitely on the lighter side. Because, hey, I think we all deserve a lighter episode after this news, including myself. So I think we're all in the mood for something that's a little bit more satirical, perhaps, at least a little. So that being said, that is my update for today. That's my just real brief bonus episode health update. And again, I want to thank everyone for listening, and I will say auf Wiedersehen for now. Thank you.